I think it's funny when they say like Armageddon is very near. Yeah, that's why Jehovah said that you could grow your beards out because it's very near. He said, guys, Armageddon is near, so how about we just start letting women wear pants? He said, guys, Armageddon is very near, so how about we start letting people go to college? What? You saw my TikTok, right?
It's good. It's good content.
I guess I was more like Neo because then I broke out. Assemblies, pioneering when the circuit overseer was in town, handling the mic,
Oh
handling
yeah.
the sound,
Oh yeah.
handling the sound console. That was me, man, working behind the literature counter. But I had this one time. There was these two girls. They were. Long story short, we almost had a three-way. They literally pushed me into the bed.
What'd you guys get disfellowship for?
And that was a crazy story because her dad caught us. He caught me.
The process of waking up from a high control religion like Jehovah's Witnesses is no laughing matter. Yet my next guest has found a way to put some humor in the whole situation. I'm going to introduce him in just a second, but first, I'm on the channel. This is Season Awakening, your home for ExJW tales. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment, or share this content with someone who may find it valuable if you like this information. All right, so my guest today, his name is Polo. He goes by Polo. He's a TikToker, and he weaves in humor with his videos to help other witnesses wake up and to educate people on the not so many truths that Joe's Witnesses spew. All right, so let's welcome Polo to the show. This is going to be kind of a candid and I say a humorous conversation about some of the challenges and about the waking up process that he went through. Thanks so much for making some time, bro.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Yes, so I found you via a TikTok, your TikTok videos, which are very, I'd say very, I don't want to say inflammatory, but you cut right to the chase. You kind of kick you right in the gut punches.
Yeah, I it's funny. So when I first started my page, um, I knew I knew it was going to be very, very straight to the point. Like I try to just like be as open as I can about it. And of course, some of my friends and family who see it, they don't like it. The ones who are currently Jehovah's Witness, they hate it. In
Yeah, they
fact,
they, they have to because you like kick them straight in the teeth.
yeah, pretty much. The one that I really liked, I just made a video about how I feel like it would be so like when I sit there and think about it, it really like all these issues they have with child abuse and like not reporting it, it literally would be very easy for them to fix it. They just have to say our policies now is we're going to report it.
Yep.
If anything that comes our way, we report it. Done. I don't think anybody would complain.
I think they don't want to submit to government, so they want to feel like they're independent of political governments or governmental regulation.
So it's optics. Like they're above the law. They're their
Right,
own.
right. Yep,
They answer to Jehovah, not to land.
exactly.
Mm-mm-mm.
So, to get started, tell me about where you're from, and obviously you're raised Jehovah's Witness, but what was your congregation like? What was your youth like?
Ooh, good question. So growing up, I grew up here in Florida. I grew up in close to Fort Lauderdale that a lot of people know. This area is called North Lauderdale. Is a small town. There was probably 10,000 people in the town, maybe 15,000, and there was no major attraction. So anytime we had to do something, we had to go somewhere else to do it. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of where I grew up. My congregation I grew up with, I don't know about you, but here in Florida, there's a lot of Caribbean uh, influence. So my congregation was primarily Caribbean. There's a lot of Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans. Well, they're not Caribbean, but islanders. Um, but we had a lot. So I had a strong island influence. Haitians, a lot of Haitians. Um, so
Are you in South Florida?
yeah, South Florida,
Okay,
correct.
yeah. Yeah, I lived in Tampa for about 8 years, so know a little bit about the Sunshine State.
Yeah, so yeah. So it's yeah, it's a lot more diverse here than in Tampa for sure. But
Hmm.
Tampa, especially, because you have university, you do get people from all around the world going to the US.
Yeah.
That was
USF.
USF, yeah. Um, but it's so that was kind of how I grew up. That was my congregation. And I was in some respect like a golden boy of it because there
Mhm.
weren't a lot of young men besides my brother and I, and I was that was me. I was Neo. I guess I was more like Neo because then I broke out.
Hmm. So were you just indoctrinated basically, like going out in field service, going to meetings, going to assemblies, doing
Yeah.
the whole deal?
Yeah, assemblies, pioneering when the circuit overseer was in town, pioneering for campaigns, doing Bible readings, handling the mics,
Oh
handling
yeah.
the sound,
Oh yeah.
handling the sound council. That was me, man, working behind the literature counter. How can I help you? Would you like the Watchtower? Here you go. That was me. I was him.
So what changed for you? Like how was high school, what was school like for you growing up?
Well, I've always been very my problem is I'm influential. I'm influenced. I'm easily influenced, I've realized. But I've always, at the same time, I've always wanted to be a free spirit. So I lived the classic double life, where I wasn't, I wasn't like fooling around with girls or anything, which I wish I did.
Yeah, me
I
too.
was, yeah, right. God damn it. I wish I took those
I passed
opportunities.
up a lot of, yeah, I passed up a lot of
Dude, I
situations.
passed up on so many
I
opportunities.
tell my wife now, I'm like, man, I missed a lot of, man, I missed a lot of action.
Dude,
She's like, you're a goody two shoes.
you're just like me. I'm a good Christian boy, bro. It's so fucked up. So it's funny. Like dude, I had this one, and I'm gonna go right into the story because speaking of it, it's so funny. But I had this one time. There was these two girls. They were. Long story short, we almost had a three-way. They literally pushed me into the bed, but I was so triggered. I just got up and I'm not joking. I ran.
Like Joseph.
I ran, yes, and I was so proud of myself. Fucking idiot. If I could go back in time, I would stop young Polo and say, "You idiot, get back in there. What are you doing?" But such is life. Anyway, I totally forgot the question.
Yeah, just what was high school and school like for you growing up?
Oh, it's funny. You know what? Even though I was a Jehovah's Witness, and I told you I lived the whole double life thing, so I would actually no, I wasn't smoking anything at the time, which is good. I didn't start smoking until I was at over 25, and
Yeah, I started smoking at like 21 is when I first dabbled.
I was
Mhm.
dabbling. I do remember going to the Kingdom Hall high as a kite from
What was
the
that?
night. Yeah, from the night
What
before.
hungover high you had on high hungover?
Yeah, dude, I would read the Watchtower high and drunk. Like I got to that point that I was that good. But you know what it is? All it did was it taught me how to. All it did was teach me mind over matter. So I'm really good at like suppressing myself, which is good and bad sometimes. Um, but yeah, but high school, but outside of that, high school, um, college, I did go to college. I'm actually I stopped because I had the children, so I'm only a few classes from my undergrad, which I should finish. But um, college, even like I was always a well-liked person. I think being a Jehovah's Witness, it does teach you how to be a salesman. So and part of being a salesman is you have to be personable
Likeable. Yep.
and likable. So I'm very likable because of that.
My wife calls me a killer crossover. She's like, you get along with everybody. So you went to college. What was that? How'd you make the decision to go to school and what was that like in your congregation? Did you get any flack from the elders?
I did. I did. Not as much because one of our elders was a CPA. So he was kind of like good for you in a way, but he also, because he was the only like professional in the group, he also was so obviously he was the one who handled the numbers, but because of that I feel like he kind of had to overreact to that,
Hmm.
to show that yeah, I'm a professional, but I too am on the fight against education with you, brothers. So yeah, so I was counseled heavily against it. And it wasn't like I went to a big university. I went to my community college,
Yeah.
um, in hopes of transferring over to university. But even that was considered like, oh, what are you doing? You can't do that. So it was very, very difficult. And I didn't put as much energy into it as I know I could have.
That's where I started. I started community college, but the brothers never talked to me. I think my dad told them that it was stupid not to go to college, and they never said anything to me. So I started at community college, and then I transferred to the University of Florida, where I got
Your
my
dad go to
undergrad.
college?
My dad was a lawyer.
Oh, get the hell, dude! That's awesome.
Hmm. So
That's
he was a
awesome. You the Jehovah's Witness?
yeah. He became one is once he was an adult, he became a witness. So he
Oh,
was like,
okay.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, you're not going to argue with a lawyer
No,
either.
they didn't say nothing to him. He told the elder his philosophy on it, and the elder agreed with him, he says. So he was so logical with his argument.
Yeah, that's. I wish my father was into that. My dad, I come from a big family. I'm one of six. I don't know if you're an only child or what,
No,
but
I had a brother and a sister.
nice for you, man. I coming from a big family, it was and I'm one of the I'm the second to youngest. I'm like, which is in my opinion, it's equivalent to middle child because I'm not the youngest, obviously, but I'm nowhere near the oldest. So
Right.
I'm like kind of just there. Um, that's how I've always kind of viewed myself. Even now, I can sometimes view myself that way.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so my dad never really he never put any effort into college or anything. I'm also the only one to have any sort of college degree, which I guess is kind of cool. Um, but I did
So,
it because I wanted to. Yeah.
so I was gonna ask, what's your take on the whole governing body change on education now?
Oh, dude, it's the worst. And I mean, it's good for them, but god damn it, why couldn't it have come, you know, 15 years ago when I was like getting ready to go to college? Because I went to a high school that was fast tracking their students to college. It
Mhm.
was one of those programs where you were getting certificates as you're graduating high school. So that way, by the time you're done, you have like college credits that could transfer over. So that was the whole point of the high school that I went to. But I didn't take it seriously because the idea of going to college literally sounded stupid to me.
Yeah, Armageddon's coming. Why are you gonna invest in this system of things?
I remember one time the teacher, the principal, and this was a small school. Like our senior class in the entire school, there was maybe 2,000 people, maybe. In just the senior class means in just our senior class there was probably 110 people. Like, and it was a very small high school. But so we had a conference one day, and the principal came on and she asked everybody, "Who raise your hand if you're not going to college?" And me, like an idiot, raised my hand super high. I didn't know it was a rhetorical question because like nobody else raised their hand because of course everybody's going to college,
Mhm.
not me. And like everybody
Like
kind of laughed.
proudly, me, I'm not going.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. And they all like laughed.
Mm.
And I think about that sometimes because I thought I was on the right side for that.
So you were a devout Christian, you were Joe's witness, you were going to meetings, doing the whole had assignments. What happened? Like what happened to you?
So even when I was a kid, I always sort of knew it wasn't the truth. I would do little
Mm.
things to test God. Like, oh, if God's real, he's gonna stop me from doing this. Oh, if God's real, then I shouldn't be able to do this. And nothing ever happened. Like, obviously, I'm still here. I'm thriving. But I realized myself, I was um, yeah, like I could dance the line. I could go to meetings, have people love me at the meetings, and go to school and have people love me at school. And so that's kind of what I did. And I never really, so I never really believed it. But what made me finally commit to leaving it was my now wife. We both gave each other the power to leave.
So what was it? So she was a witness and she was like, I was like, I'm really done with this. She was like, yeah, me too. How'd that go?
Um, no, we pretty much just ran away together. Like we didn't like it, and and the elders told us, to stay away from each other. It was almost like Romeo and Juliet, honestly. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They told us stay away. Their families didn't like us. They didn't like us being together, and we just stayed together. And we eventually we both decided to leave. We're like, this is not the truth. If it
Hmm.
was, and it was more so for me. She was more just following my lead. But she knew it wasn't the truth.
How'd you know? Like what evidence did you have or what kind of confirmed your fears or your thoughts?
I would begin by saying I'm a strong proponent of actions speak louder than words. So if you look at our actions, we we just stopped. We weren't listening to what the elders were telling us to do. We weren't listening to what, when we'd have like our meetings, we weren't listening to the meeting. We'd still, kind of do what we wanted to do. So there was no stopping us. We didn't want to do what they were telling us, and so we just didn't do it.
So you guys are
I,
kind of rebellious, it sounds like.
yeah, yeah, and which is funny because now looking back on it, I would consider it rebellion. I mean, maybe just rebelling. It's rebelling against the status quo, right? Like you're like we know if an elder tells you something, you better do it. Like,
Exactly.
so if you're not
It's
doing
like
it,
coming from the governing body or something. If the elder tells you to do something, it's like coming from Jehovah.
yeah, pretty much. And if you don't do it, that means you're not listening to God. That means you're not being a good servant. And we couldn't deal with it. And by the way, how fucked up is that? Good servant? I don't want to be a good servant. I don't want to be a good servant. Let me just say that.
Mm,
Is cursing okay on this
I
podcast?
don't care. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Okay, good. You're a cool dude.
Yeah, it's not broadcast television, so it's fine.
Okay, cool.
So,
Good, good, good.
so what does that look like? You and your wife kind of just up and fade? You just like dissociate? What do you guys do?
Oh man, well, we got disfellowshipped.
Oh,
I don't like to that word triggers me because it doesn't exist,
right.
and
Only in Joe's
it
Witness world it does.
only in Jehovah's Witness world does
Yep.
that word exist.
Yep.
Nobody.
Same as apostate, right? Like apostate just means somebody who changed their mind, but Jehovah's Witness is like your
Yep,
demon influence trying to, like a roaring lion seeking to get other witnesses to stop
yep.
serving. No, that's not what it is at all.
Yep, they borderline. That's the one thing they would call an unforgivable sin. Not even murder was considered an unforgivable sin, but
Hmm.
apostasy, like talking about Jehovah, or in this case, like the governing body of the Bible, that's an unforgivable sin. Like, come on, dude. Like that was not even sexual assault is an unforgivable sin. Like, just think about it. That's the level they put apostasy on. I remember thinking that was well, like illegal almost.
Right.
I felt like I was gonna go to jail, but. Now here I am making the content.
Yeah. So, what was the first thing you and your wife did? Did you just move? I mean, obviously you stopped going to meetings, but how did your life change when you stopped?
Oh, so once we got disfellowshipped, that changes it. That changes everything overnight. So I remember trying to reach out to a couple people before, and they weren't interested in hearing it. Um, and then
What'd you
when
guys
you
get
get
this
in,
fellowship? Let me interrupt. What'd you guys get this fellowship for?
we were having sex.
Oh, so you're premarital.
Yeah,
Or
we were having
you're
sex.
dating at the time? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that was a crazy story because her dad caught us. He caught me. That shit was scary as fuck, dude. And he's not a witness, but he handled it better than her mom. Way better than her mom. I think man to man, he kind of already knows what's gonna happen and what's
Yeah.
happening. And it's like, look, you can't, you're just making it worse. But she didn't, her mom didn't see it that way. Anyway, that's a long story too. That's a whole episode in and of itself.
We'll do a part two then.
Yeah. Um,
See, you guys, this fellowship get shunned and sort of
yeah,
reestablish your lives, reconstruct everything.
yeah, everything changed overnight. So we lost all our friends, lost all our family. I've always been very busy. Like I said, I'm in real estate, so I've always been networking and talking to people. So I have a lot of people in my contacts. Um, so I wasn't 100% alone. She was 100% alone. She didn't have a lot of like friends outside of it. So trauma bonded, I guess, in that respect.
So what does your life look like now? When did you start making the content? And yeah, what does your life look like now?
So my life now, we're still together. We have 3 kids. It definitely is different in the sense that leaving the cult together and then finding yourselves like together is very interesting. So right now we're kind of separated, but I say she's my wife because we're still legally, together. But it is very different um, because of that, which is great. I mean, we have a good relationship. We just both know that there was a lot that happened that wasn't unpacked that you have to work on by yourself. You can't work on it like people can't help you. You guys do the work by yourself,
Hmm.
however that looks. And having children don't make it easy, but it does it does motivate me to make sure it gets done
Hmm.
because I owe it to them to be a good example. they don't really owe anything to me. And I realized that we were really, and I made a post about this. I realized that we were still kind of carrying the Jehovah's Witness mindset and a Jehovah's Witness just character, even though we haven't been in it for so many years.
Talk about that a little bit. What kind of do you still see happening or your mindset that need to change?
I would say when when you're in the cult, there is a lot of guilt, especially a lot of guilt and judgment towards whatever you want. Because it's not about what you want, it's about what Jehovah wants, quote unquote. Or in this case, what the Kingdom Hall wants, what the elders want, what the friends want. So you're always judging yourself based off of these teachings. And that leads to a lot of guilt, that leads to feeling stuck, that leads to a lot of unhappy decisions. And that's not how I wanted to live my life, and that's not how she wants to live her life. So that was one thing I feel like we were kind of carrying over. Um uh the dishonesty is a big one too. I mean, there's a lot of in a lot of ways they teach you how to lie.
Hmm.
And 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 I think one of the biggest lies by this is the best life ever. No way. I don't there's no way they even believe that. There's no way they believe it. The best life ever. There is no way they believe it because you're if you lived the life that the Jehovah's Witness demands you to live, you're signing your life away to poverty. You're signing your life away to low to no education and just, reading their literature and putting out their literature all day for the rest of your life. That is what that is what a life would look like if you follow the religion like by the letter.
Hmm.
Um, and you just keep doing more and more of that until eventually one day you probably become a Bethelite or circuit overseer or whatever it may be.
My dad calls it the theocratic hamster wheel. They're just like going to
Mm.
meeting, going to service.
Yep. Yeah, I would yeah. And go ahead.
It's amazing how people volunteer their life away basically and give it to just something that doesn't really matter. I find it kind of shocking almost that people voluntarily do that, give their power away like that.
Yeah, they do. And my siblings, they still are in it. I'm the only one who's not in it. And so that used to make me feel kind of bad. I wear that proudly now. Like, yeah, I am not a Jehovah's Witness. I don't like it anymore. But talking to her, she still they the craziest thing I ever heard this year was her telling me that it is more because she doesn't like that I make fun of the religion. I said it's pretty funny when you think about it, so it's kind of hard not to. But to her, she said it's more offensive to make fun of the religion than it is to make fun of her own child. That was my reaction exactly. Do you not? I had, and I asked her like, "What?" And she repeated it because I cannot believe somebody has that feeling where they're putting this religion over their own child. That's wild. And you have a kid too, so you know.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how they shun and how they like really cut people off, and it's Jehovah over everything. It's
Hmm.
just a different mindset.
Hmm. It's
Yeah.
not real, and the shunny's a big one. Like imagine me, like the and you were in it back in the day, so you remember what it was like. Now it's a little bit easier. I think they could like kind of talk to them,
Yeah. Back in
but
the day, you like look the other direction, basically.
so just imagine that mindset where where we could see each other right now, but I'm not allowed to acknowledge you as if you're there.
Mhm.
Like I have to almost look
It's like
past
you're
you.
invisible. It's like you're invisible.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
But you're lying to yourself. Clearly, you see this person. You want to say something to him. Say something, but you can't because you're judging yourself into believing by me saying it, it's bad. And that mindset I found has permeated almost, I guess because I'm watching Stranger Things right now, but
Mhm.
like Vecna, like those tentacles have I got into almost everything in my life. And now I'm ripping them off. It feels good.
Yeah, you got to deconstruct definitely.
Hmm.
So has making the TikToks been therapeutic for you? What kind of I guess what do you get from making your videos?
Yeah, I guess it is very therapeutic. I made it as a venting session when I first started, but then people started resonating with it. And I did go to like I did see someone like a professional for it. It didn't help me too much, if I had to be
What do you
honest.
mean, like a counselor or got some
Yeah, a
mhm,
therapist.
therapist? Yeah.
I felt like it didn't help me too much in the long run. So I ended up, not doing it. This has helped me more than anything, is making
Mm,
this content, speaking to people who are in it. Um, it's really helped me, and I think it's also helped some of the people who watch it. I look at the comments and I try to respond to them all. And it's cool when I get a comment or a message saying, "Thanks, your videos are great." One lady even said she shows my videos to her therapist because the way I explain things is so she feels it's so easy to understand
yep.
that it's helping her with her help. So I
You
love it.
kind of you kind of reveal the absurdity of it all in your videos, I say.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it is, and that's the thing. It's like to the outside world, they're not going to be able to do it because they don't know how deep Jehovah's Witnesses go. They just see people knocking on their doors with a smile on their
It's a
face.
whole culture, it's a whole mindset, it's a whole lifestyle.
It's you can't just dabble in it. You
But I
could
get
dabble. Go
what I
ahead.
was gonna say was I can guarantee this. If you go back to the Kingdom Hall, it's gonna be the same old Kingdom Hall. It's the same old meeting, the same old hymns. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like a time warp almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. And even like the design of it has not changed. Like when I see like photos from when I was a kid, it still looks the exact same. Like
Hmm.
literally the assembly hall, the one that we have in Florida down here was the West Palm Beach Assembly Hall. Someone's gonna hear that and be like, I've been there. They bought it, they remodeled it like in the 2000s or whatever, and I don't think they've ever remodeled it again.
Hmm.
They just maintain it. It's cost them way too much money to rebuild, to remodel, and they're losing way too much money. But
Hmm. So
yeah,
what do
it's
you
like
make
a
about
time
all?
capsule.
What do you make? I see you got the beard there. What do you make about all the changes? Like it's okay to have a beard now. When I was a kid, I got like World War III in my congregation because I refused to shave, and the elders were like on me, like Brother Channel. No witnesses wear your beards. And I was like, Charles Taze also had a beard. Jesus Christ had a beard. What are you talking about? It doesn't say in the Bible to shave.
Yeah, I always thought that like it's not Bible based, and you're smart and strong because you stood by your guns. So good for
Hmm.
you. I didn't do that. I would shave and get bumped up, and I was growing a beard at like 13.
Oh yeah, I was kind of a late bloomer.
Yeah, 13, I was already getting facial hair, and it was a pain.
So let's toast real quick. Let's take a toast.
Yes, I'm with it. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna cheers to being an XJW with smoke.
Yes. Cheers.
I got a few questions I'd like to ask all my guests. The first one is, how would you explain a spiritual awakening, or do you even see your story as being a spiritual awakening?
Oh yeah, definitely a spiritual awakening. Um, I could even hear it in my voice. I'm real cool now. But yeah, definitely a spiritual awakening. The awakening that I've had is that nobody fucking knows. Nobody knows. But you get closer if you look within. You really don't need any church. You don't need any Bible. You don't need any of that. The answers are inside of you.
Hmm.
And to me, that was Jesus' ultimate teaching, one of his biggest teachings,
It was, but
which
they ignore it.
not only do they ignore it, if you look in the Bible today, it doesn't even say it anymore. It used to say the kingdom of God is within. Now it says the kingdom of God is in your midst. They changed the wording. Yeah,
Wow. Wow. It's a shame.
it is a shame. It's a shame because somebody. Oh, it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
My next question is, what's the best lesson or the greatest lesson that you've learned in life so far?
The best lesson or the greatest lesson that I learned in life so far. Um, Honestly, it would probably be if you do what you want, you'll you'll probably like never be upset or like you can't go wrong by following your heart, which sounds
Mhm.
super cliche, but there is something to be said about the kind of benefits that come to your life when you take care of yourself, which is against everything Jehovah's Witnesses teach you. You're supposed to, think of everybody else but yourself and think of yourself last because we're just slaves. So why would we even think of ourselves? But mm, there is something very freeing for other people when you do start to take care of yourself. because now you're removing the burden of I'm removing the burden of somebody having to take care of me and putting that back on me. I don't need I don't have to put that weight onto someone. So I'm learning to listen to that voice and also question and because not everybody knows everything. That's what I said before. We're really we're open we're open books. I'm an open book, and I want to be that way with anyone. So even you, Amani, like you know more about me now than than a lot of people. And people who hear this are gonna know a lot more about me as well. So
No, I appreciate you taking the time and sharing. Last question is, what would be your advice to someone who's starting to question things, or maybe they're starting to sense that something isn't right either in life or about the religion or the way you were raised? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to listen to that voice, and you won't be able to listen to it if you're just being bombarded with a lot of noise. So take a step back. Stop going to meetings if that's what it means. Stop answering your friends' phone calls, your text messages. You don't owe anybody your time or your energy. You owe it to yourself. So spend that energy that you would have listening to somebody and speaking to somebody, spend it on yourself, doing something you want, drawing, watching a movie, making content, doing something. Because eventually you'll see what the right answer is. It'll reveal itself. But you gotta listen.
It's a great answer.
Thanks, sir.
Last question is, well, that's my last question actually. So my last question is, how does somebody find you on the internet if they want to talk to you or reach out or connect with you?
Polo the ExJW on social media. I'm Polo the ExJW on TikTok. And hopefully by the time this airs, I'll be Polo the ExJW on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Uh, so Snapchat, because I think I said Snapchat already, but YouTube. So that way, so you'll be anywhere you go, Polo the ExJW, you'll find me.
Well, Polo, Dolo, I do appreciate your time. Enjoy the conversation. I see so many parallels between your life and mine. So yeah, it's great talking.
Likewise, Armani. Thanks for having me, and I would love to hear more about those parallels because it sounds pretty cool.